Well, good evening, Gotham. Hello, Metropolis. You're going to forgive the voice. I'm going to explain. Hello, what did I say? Good evening. Hello, Metropolis. Hiya, Gotham. No, it's Gotham, Metropolis, Emerald City, Xanadu, Babylon, to the ISS, and the rest of you. Hi. Okay, we are live, 1 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. in Kiev, 3 p.m. in Tokyo. I will get the conversions, I believe, all in one zone, but I'll check that before I just say something stupid. We're going to get to that in a minute. Um, 3 p.m. in Tokyo. Godzilla versus Mega Godzilla. Not what I remember. It was better. Um, and it is 10 o'clock in Sherman Oaks, California. So good evening, everybody. It is 4:20, and the obvious I won't. A couple episodes back, I showed all of you how to make it sound like you're doing a bong hit on the phone. In my case, it was on the radio. A couple of you commenting, former viewers of the Scooter McGee show, have found the #1 podcast nobody knows about, and I'm amazed you watched it. But welcome back. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the shares. I would also like to thank Greeley Westside Liquor. No, I'm having my Coke, and I'm about to have a smoke here with you. But Greeley Westside Liquor was a longtime sponsor of the show as well, and they signed on for this Bugatti. Yeah, we're going to get to Bugatti here in a minute. Give me these and these. That's right here. And a special thanks. Now, this was my bad, but shout out to Silver Mountain Jewelry and Pawn. We will get to on this day in 2 days. I have been trying some experiments in what was designed as the 11 o'clock works for me. Why? Because the day is almost over, which means tomorrow is almost here. I'd get up to grab an example of this, but I'm not wearing any pants, so that'd be a bad idea. There are only three moments in time: the past, current, and the future. And I thought I had a coin set up to do this. The coin, there's two sides to every story. No, there's their side, and then what's true and factual between the two. In a coin, heads or tails, but a coin is a three-dimensional object. The ring around the coin is a quantifiable number. Yeah, it's a surface. So it's three sides. So I ask that you be leery, and I ask that you be patient. This is expanding a lot quicker than I thought. My voice is shot because for the last 2 days I've been yelling at a lot of people, and they deserve it, by the way. And it's because of where a meeting took place. This is 23 months because it's May of 2020. This meeting takes place, and I come out of a building on South Broadway into a show. So, you know, the arguments of people saying I've been busy and can't return calls. Calls are about somebody else. No, these devices, again, this was pretty clear. Um, the smart technology has divided the world, but that's what it was designed to do. A smart device makes the user dumber, but that sounds contradictory to what should be. Well, up is down, white is black, and retard is not a slur. So I originally started this format because this is for me and for whatever legacy I leave behind. Because again, I'm a white supremacist, a misogynistic pig, an ultra right wing conservative, a left wing wacko, a Zionist pig. What I mean, every name under the book. Okay, if that's what you need to do, then great. It kind of sucks to be you that you're that shallow and don't want to have a conversation. So we'll get to a shallow moment here. We did the time check. We thank both sponsors. The headlines are for 420. In 48 hours, I'm going to revert back to the characteristic of the Scooter McGee show, in that I'm always going to give you from now on the headlines tomorrow. Here's what's bubbling, and here's what may percolate in the 4 to 6.5 hours a day that I get to sleep. That's my choice. It's not your fault. I've never slept. I've since a little boy, my nickname was Midnight. So, so having said that, the shallow moment last night had to do this. Well, it was not last night because that was done at 5 in the morning, but didn't get uploaded till 3 in the morning the next day because I had to be somewhere and couldn't do two things at once. I know all of you can. It's called multitasking. You're not multitasking. You're not. You're jerking around. You're claiming you're no. Again, Facebook, everybody, most of the time is spent on Facebook is at work. You're at work being paid to do something, and it is not sit on social media. On February 19th, the anniversary of Gulf War One, which I knew where I was and who I was with, an anniversary syndrome because of where I'd been in 2020. And I just saw those. Did we ever grow up? No, we got older. We're just kids with credit cards. Back to the kids. It's always about the children. So the telephone, the etiquette, the passive aggressive nonsense of these text messages. Um, Telephone etiquette in the discussion of yesterday was about one's ability to become a creative writer instead of returning a phone call. So even if I have X number of phone calls, now I get a log. They called first, they called second, they called third. If I just missed their call by 10 minutes, you get the first. You get, oh, wait, I just missed your call. However, normally you set your phone down. How many of you ever are more than a meter or 3 meters away from your phone? The answer is zero. I leave Shangri-La on the dark side of the moon, and I can leave my phone sitting on the other side of this wall charged for a day, and it's not in my possession. And maybe you might want to consider the possibility since the iPhone 1 came out. I said no, and they forced us onto the iPhone 3, and I went through it and I went, I'll just set that over here now. I'm kind of done with that thing. We're now on the iPhone 12 out of force. By the way, am I the only other one? Oh, we're going to get to the kids' show moment. Complete left turn. Am I the only one who sees digital discrimination? You King Stupids wants to charge $6 a pound for butter, but if I did download the digital coupon, I can get it for $1.99. You I'm not giving you any more of my data. I don't come into the building with a smartphone. Why? Because when you walk in, oftentimes you're sniffed. They're already getting data off your phone. Whether just going to use their free Wi-Fi, I got to jump on because I want to check and see how important I am. I just checked in the parking lot, but I wasn't important as I thought I was. See, my voice is shot, screaming at the lawyers. A meeting that was 23 months ago that started that never ended. I will tell you, it is about intellectual property. That's it. Now, the phone on my planet when I was a kid, let's call this 1976 to October of 1983. The phone doesn't ring in the house during dinner. Everyone has dinner across the country at the same time. Dinner's at 6 o'clock. Scooter, you're so full of shit. My house, dinner was at 5:30. 5:30, something was going on at the house, but it was happy hour. Cocktails at 5, dinner at 6. See, there was structure. A structure including a table with plates and napkins, place settings, a tablecloth, a lazy Susan with the salt and the pepper and the relish and the ketchup and the mustard and the vinegar and the steak sauce. Uh, there are female astronauts on the ISS. They are unhappy. Of course they are. It's difficult to just get out and go shopping when you're up there, I suppose. Um, I didn't invent the term lazy Susan. I just realized that was on Grandma and Grandpa's dinner table, period. Now the condiments got changed out because in the morning there'd be a sugar bowl and a creamer, and there'd be butter, and there'd be marmalade and jelly, and God, I'm drooling. Um, is keeping a lazy Susan out in storage, is that domestic violence? If I started talking in a goofy accent like Johnny Depp, would that perhaps maybe let me get out of the trial? I'm just curious. Kids, the phone. It doesn't ring during dinner, ever. And the minute it does, whoever's the head of the household, and on my planet would be the man. Well, yeah, I'm sure you are now. But you're eating over the sink and you're eating out of a bag in the back seat of a car. That's not dinner. That's not breakfast. That's just, you know, I'm sorry. Well, you're hyenas. Admit what you are. No, we want to be cat people. You're hyenas. So the phone rings. Doesn't ring during the dinner. During the dinner hour, you sit down. How's your day? Doesn't matter. Nobody talked. Okay, fine. If it was one of the other, get through this really quick. Chew your food, clean your plate. And I don't like, hey, I can't tell you how many times I sat at that table till it was time to go to bed. And somehow I felt victorious because I outlasted them. Nope, not in the morning. You didn't like it for dinner. You're really not going to like it for breakfast. It doesn't work, does it? No. So we all had to learn to choke down our vegetables that we didn't like. Also, because mother killed them twice. I love liver. The only thing my biological mother made for dinner was reservations. But the men in the house, the hunters and gatherers, often had to become the chefs. Some of the greatest chefs are men. So why can't dad figure out, hey, really, can we have this again? Oh, yeah, getting mad because had to figure out how do I feed the kids. She doesn't understand. Oh, she knows there's a clock on the stove. The phone. It's going to take a very morbid turn here for a moment. More than a moment. Here comes your shallow moment. God forbid the phone is ringing at dinner because the head of the household is going to order one of the, again, 1976 to 1983, kids are remote controls. You tell whoever that is, don't ever call here between this time and this time ever again. As a child, you do as you're instructed because there might be, discipline if you didn't. This was not in my case. What happens though if you know something by the way they're talking on the phone that something isn't right and that this isn't important? Somebody better be dying for that phone to ring during dinner or after 10 o'clock at night. Somebody better be on in fire. Somebody better be dead. And somebody is going to need a lawyer because I'm going to kill you for calling here this late. What is wrong? In the world of Irish Mafia, those phone calls after 10, before, we'll call it 5 a.m. Eastern, because the Teamsters have the morning watch. Um, in the old days, and again, I preface this specifically 1976. You could say 1975 because Jaws comes out in 1975, but I'm just the bicentennial to 1983. We weren't in the omnipresent surveillance global police state, but the phone was not a method of choice for communication. On my planet, in a faction of Irish mafia, it's not an Italian thing. What's that thing even doing in the fucking house? I also remember circa 70, 70, 79, 80, 81, the Uniden and the Iowa AIWA cordless phones. What the? Do you realize what you're bringing into the house? You're bringing in a transmitter. Are yes, no, these were not on Santa's gift list. But there were times because of emergency and the need for immediate damage control that certain things needed to be said on the phone. Because in that same world of those who understood technology and that this thing is actually not through a line, which the FBI can tab whether they got a warrant or not. And it's not even about the FBI. No wonder YouTube doesn't have Gene Hackman's The Conversation out there. When was that movie? Even 3 Days of the Condor, when before he became a loon, what's his name? Robert Redford, when he just grabbed the phone, the lineman's bag stuff, grabbed a couple things and walked right into ADI. Yeah, there's ways to get through anything. So when it came to the phone, when once it's out there, it's out there. But if there was a reason because of a necessity of an emergency and the need for damage control in the overnight or coordinating where, again, sometimes and of certain events then create, all right, because we learned from this, we can never let this happen again. You got to have boom, boom, boom in place so that that call comes, the phone rings 3 times, there's nobody on the other line. You wait 90 seconds, you pick up, you say a word, and you drive here. Why? Because somebody will be waiting there for you with physical instructions. I don't care if you believe this or not. This is therapy right now for me on the phones, in now having to deal with the lawyers in a conversation from 23 months ago. And I made the comment about the books and the writing. We approached day 60, and we weren't a month into this. And I said, hey, maybe I should do a weekly of boom, boom, boom. Let's just go through everything they said all week and let's see where they're at on this. My anger came back again, my negativity, because of I can't believe we're doing this again. In 1991, I told the story early on in these shows about how my friends from military school and we literally in real time sat in a bar, actually two, but in this case, at the end of it, when the war was over, that was quick. But we had all grown up together. And a great game at the time was the game Risk. Now, as Belarus was popping and the Soviet army was, and I say Soviets are moving south, members, world, this is the World War, this is a big game of Risk. And then they brought up the Seinfeld episode down in the, Ukrainians not. How polluted the minds have gotten. But in 1991, St. Paul Book and Stationery, we got the map of the region because we had the world map is how we used to play. But in the jokes of, okay, everybody's got this at home. We'll meet here and we need bring a deck of cards. Now the bar dice, the 654, the 5 dice in the leather cup, we've got those here. And we had the strategy of we wanted to, as young men out of the world of the military schools, we wanted to, and now Trivial Pursuit was popping. That was the huge thing. We wanted to come up with a new game. And we'd been playing it in the dorms when we, we're all broke because we'd lost our money playing guts. 3, 2, 1, drop. Those reflexes never die, do they? Phone etiquette and the phones. and the anger. And I do bleep myself. It was a trick that I learned after my stroke when they taught me to speak again because I was always bleeping myself and having to hit the red button. It's just this is what that's because where it is. It's all right up there. Damn it. Oh. And it would make for best ofs difficult for Micah. What were you talking about last night? You bleeped yourself 15 times. Not what I'm doing here. You're cutting the audio on the delay. So swear, hit the button, go to a commercial, come back, let delay come back. It's for an engineer to know that the show is X number of minutes and seconds long, and then to discover on the back end, where did 4 minutes go last night? Oh, in thin air. I know. There are a lot of people that wish the doctors had never taught me to speak again. The phones. In the time mentioned again, 1976 to 1983, even with catastrophic horror of a union member being impaled with a piece of conduit off the crane that snapped and came back down right. True story. Oh, what a way to die. Who was in charge? Who was on? Okay. And then the language gets a little heated and maybe the connection is bad. Do you not can you hear me? What the I swear to God, I'm gonna take a pencil and I'm gonna shove it in here. Okay, we get it. Again, my nickname was Midnight because I was always up. It's kind of tough not to hear that 3 floors up in the air, like it's all coming through the vents. You can feel it through the floors. Dear God. The earth is quiet at night and I can hear it, but I'm standing on the other side of the door. I can hear it. So that as an adult, I'd always tried to be on the higher road as an expat, in that when I get those god awful calls, that now's the time to breathe. Now's not the time to yell. Swearing isn't going to get anything done. And threatening to clip somebody just doesn't work anymore. So if we really need to have wet work done, then that's another conversation that's sure not going to be on the phone. All right, what with something messy. Look, I'm not the Russians and the KGB. I don't have alleged access to radioactive isotopes and just drop it in your coffee out in public and walk away. It's not that I don't have that skill set, mind you. I just don't have those connections. So, our shallow moment regarding the phone. Now, I have a problem because the phone, the yelling, and a deliberate, okay, and I really need you to do this for me. Okay. Because on my planet, when you didn't, you wound up on a shit list. Not a bleep list. I mean, you don't, people typically don't ask twice when you said no because of the back then, circa 76 to 83, the omnipresent fear of overwhelming. I don't mean like Twitter outrage. Okay. I'm talking good luck going to the mattresses because you ain't going to find one. So, and because of that world of violence, oftentimes, whether it by threat or real, and again, prefacing Irish Mafia, not the best group of genetically. Are Irish a race? Celtic would be a race. Druid, I don't know. Genetically speaking, Irish really are good at a couple. Again, Greeley West Side Liquor Get your well, get your pinatas. First they go to telling you we're busting you wide open. Ukrainian vodka, Polish vodka, Colorado vodka. I forgot the Snovaval. Okay, you know they're now selling in Aurora, Colorado, because that's a whole nother. I'm debating whether or not because of Aurora in the news. So everybody stand down there. All right, your shallow moment. So as an adult, a fourth generation Irish mafia, you got to learn from the previous ones. And the yelling and the screaming and the threatening doesn't work. Do what you say, do what you do. You're judged on your actions, not on your words. And then there are the god awful moments. The phone rings because someone has died, whether by nefarious reasons or old age, or they got hit by a car. Doesn't matter. There's even good news in death in my planet in my day. And it depended upon when you died, which kind of has to do with shallow moments last night of here's your top 10 list. Because now we have relatives with creative writing and relatives who are sick and dogs at the vet and anniversaries of people jumping to their deaths. And okay. But on my planet, circa 1976 to 1983, Ramsey County, St. Paul, Minnesota, it's after dinner on Tuesday. It's after 10 o'clock. Yep. But they died that afternoon. Uh huh. Drop dead, plain sight, on camera. Minneapolis Institute of the Arts. Holy, yeah. Phone etiquette. Excuse me. Phone etiquette. The minute you get bad news, the rule was three. You had to call three people and sadly be the messenger. I was just informed. Sorry. Rotary dial, 7 numbers. Brrr, brrr. Phone doesn't normally ring at this time. Brrr. God, this is gonna suck. Brrr. Hello, is this so and so? Yes, it is. May I ask who's calling? Hi, this is Tim. I pray to Christ I'm not calling at a bad time, but I'm the bearer of bad tidings. You're on the list. Yeah, I just found out that Dick so and so has passed away, and you're on the list of the three that I'm to call. Yes, thank you very much. I'm sorry. Please tell your father that I'll hear. Yes. Okay, thank you. Goodbye. They have a job now. They have to call three people. The people on their list call three people. The people on their line. Because somebody just dropped dead. The people who are dealing with that, because we have to identify the body, we have to contact the next of kin. Nobody's been shot. They dropped dead right there in the Minneapolis Institute of the Arts at the Grant Wood exhibit, having a heart attack. It's the act of God. Happens. Kind of tough. It's the middle. It's Tuesday and it's rush hour. And hey, get on the phone. Those who've been notified that are in the chain of command of the biological, somebody's got to call the newspaper. Yep. And we don't want to celebrate. And nope. Here's the name. Survived by. Where? Oh, what's the family? This here. We'll just put them then up and over. Okay. A donation can be made. And no. This is 1976 and 1983. Okay. So, and a GoFundMe. No. Wait a minute. How do we call the paper? Well, who went to identify the body? Yeah, that's already in the works. Okay, where are we going? In the case where I'm from, small town, okay. But this was on the mini. What? You don't think the coroner doesn't bring the body? You just think they drop them right off there at the bridge? Oh, we're done. No, people understood. This is where it gets fun. See, because they died on Tuesday. Oh, man, this sucks. No, we're Catholic. We're Irish. Are you nuts? Grandma gets to cry for the next 96 hours with joy and mourning and mass, food. See, that is the problem with the Irish style. The Italian ones are much better. No, in the food department, we are horribly, horribly lacking. Catering services at best back then was Tanucci's. Not good. No, no, nothing wrong with Tanucci's. Don't get me wrong. Just, but again, Dennis Leary's line. I mean, Irish cuisine. Run it through a blender and sip it through a straw, because it's sure as hell got to be anything better than what the biological mother cooked. Burning the cornflakes and calling them Cajun style is not cutting it. Um, the death. So by Tuesday night, the newspapers have been notified. It's now Wednesday morning. Yes, bad day. By the way, we wear suits. Yes, and you wear a black armband. Yes, kind of sucks. Yeah, but everybody knows. And there's not. All right, now Jim's coming in the office today, and no, this is worse than the cat dying. Okay, Jim's just he's having a little dip. Jim's here. Yep. Nope. If you want to say anything, you can pay your respects at the wake, which we are all expected to attend. There's going to be a wake. Yes. Okay. God, I might even meet a girl. Um, when you die in that Tuesday launch window, because I actually have that. When you die in the right launch window, you die. Here's the obituary. Oh no. Yeah, the wake is going to be 5:30 to 7 or 4 to 7 or 5 to 7. Boy, that time's right off the happy hour on Friday, doesn't it? Yes, it does. We're very sorry, but that's the way he would have wanted it. Didn't he just die? Well, yeah, I mean, he dropped dead. They run the autopsy and they run you over to the funeral home. And are you getting a family? This whole, we don't discuss. Shh, shh. It's what he would have wanted. And that nonsense. I do appreciate those of you who think that you're interjecting what they wanted. They knew what they wanted. They were very specific about it. And we keep with that tradition. So keep your ideas and what we should do and go out in the parking lot and go play in traffic. Dance recitals and singing. And what the is this? It's a memorial. So we don't have that. We have a wake. Then we have a viewing. Then we have a mass. Catholic mass. No. Yeah. 5:30 mass on Saturday. No, 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 no. The wake was Friday at 5 o'clock. Still hungover. Well, get your ass up because we got a burial here at 9 a.m. No, we don't. We have mass. Oh, no, no. Yes, there's good news. The light is at the end of the tunnel. We're going to have the mass. Father so and so. He's still alive? Sure. Father so and so is going to do the mass. What time's the burial? Burial is at 10:30 over at no. Uh-huh. We play our cards right. We'll be out of the cemetery before 11:30. We can be in Prescott at 1 o'clock. On a Saturday? Uh-huh. We can either stay at the Stearns house or we can go. Wait a minute, we got to come back into town on Sunday for mass. Are you insane? We just went to mass. I thought only Saturday at 5 o'clock or 4:30 or okay. Did you go to mass on Saturday? Yes. Was the sun up? Yes. Did the sun go down? Yes. Is it Sunday? Yes. Is the sun up? Yes. You don't have to go to mass. I will have that Bloody Mary now. Okay, good. joyous celebration. No, the bonus was you didn't have to go to mass on Sunday if the launch window timed out right on the Tuesday and every gear worked smooth. The body's picked up, it's taken to the coroner. Here's the results. Give it to the family. Here's their belongings. Get the body out. Take it to the funeral home. Prep it, and let's put him in the ground because we got to be back in the office on Monday. That's what he would have wanted. You're so cold. You obviously don't know the son of a that we put in the ground, do you? He was a beacon and a light to us all. I know. I'm not saying he was the son of. I'm just saying he wouldn't want this nonsense. Actually, the word he'd use is perfunctory nonsense anywhere in his line of sight. There was your shallow moment, and then I'll leave you with this because 1976 to 1983, there was a lot of drugs and alcohol being consumed, and that's the children of the 80s that were raised by parents of the 60s. And in the old days, you're in the car with your buddies, right? And you're driving, and they're there, and we're going out, and we're gonna party. We're gonna pick up some stuff, and we're gonna party. I don't think we even knew what that meant, but it sounded good, and we could waste a whole evening doing it. Waste a whole evening, waste an entire summer. You're driving in the car, and we got directions to the house party. Uh huh. And the guy, shotgun, has responsibilities back then. Where do you know where we're going? Uh huh. I got the directions. Perfect. And at the fourth house after the second stop sign, you take a left. Now we're lost. Let's go back to where we're okay. You go, keep going straight, go straight, go straight, go straight. And some jerkweed in the back goes, "Man, you don't ever go straight, you go forward." Sober people now can't go straight anymore because that would suggest that being gay, straight, that may offend somebody. I literally said retard and you in retards and what are you in retarded? And you took nothing else away from what I said other than you think that word is a racial slur. Okay. You're also running around right now on social media of how proud you are still wearing your mask, even though the government said no, you don't want government anywhere near your body, except when it comes to telling other people to wear masks. You're now losing all sense of reality. You have been brainwashed for no less than 2 years. President Zelensky again wants to have meetings with all the world leaders. Why is Zelensky not meeting Biden? Okay. We're to brace for another surge on the U.S. Mexican border of illegals, not immigrants, but we're going to challenge the mask mandate. And you know what? Here it comes. It's the unboosted and the unvaccinated. They're the problem. So you, with your double boosts and your double masks and your double shots and double everything else, you should start carrying other masks with you. So when you're on the plane, excuse me, I have an elderly person and a child at risk, and so I'd like you to wear a mask for their safety. And the horse you rode in on. I think we're done. Alex Jones has filed for bankruptcy. That's a great headline. Did you read the story of why? Just like wanting our homosexual rights. Okay, as a heterosexual, I don't have the right to stick my tongue down the receptionist's throat and prance and dance in the office. So I don't know what you're doing. We just want to be recognized. Okay, that's a lie. That's the camel toe under the tent. And I bring up Sandy Hook and Alex Jones. Well, look, we're not in this for money, and we want him to apologize. Never apologize because that's when they go out. Why? Because that's it now. We are the victim, and you are the enemy, and you must die. They can't call for your death. They just want you to be unable to defend or supply yourself with food, ammunition against the falsities, or even the ammunition when they physically come after you and assault you. Some black youths mistook a white woman thinking they were a Latino and yeah, the hashtag who's your daddy? Who the is in charge? These are a bunch of animals running the streets. Crime is out of control, and your government is doing nothing. They are asleep at the wheel. They are not incompetent. I believe they're in cahoots. Focus on your 420, man. That's what they want. They want you dumbed down so they can control you. But this illusion of we all just need to be safe, then go wrap yourself up in bubble wrap and go hide under a rock. Leave the rest of the world alone. Tomorrow is going to be an interesting day because day 3, I am not going to endure what I went through yesterday and today. But it does have to come to a conclusion. This project will not. It is slated through the 100th day, and we are only at day 56. But having said that, I didn't realize I rambled for 41 minutes. See, because nobody ever, Frank Cannon, had an answering machine in the car. That was a good one that Joe 111 did. Was the when car phones became a thing in the mid 80s in Minnesota. I mean, in Hollywood, they were there since the 60s, actually in the 50s. But, and they're just two-way radios. But that, the fax machine, oh, God. Uh, JL 111 had everybody convinced that he had a fax machine wired into the trunk of a car. As a little radio head still back then. It's not possible. No, it's a tape recorder playing the sound effect, and it's 6 minutes into the tape. He pulls up onto the street, jumps out of the car real quick, hits play on the recorder, closes the trunk, pulls into Schwanden, gets out of the car, goes sits in the side. Yep, sits inside, pours himself a drink, and walks over to the chair. And no sooner sitting down and having a drink, he's not near a phone. He with everybody for an entire weekend until, which again, verboten, it's not. Look, there's no antennas on the car. There's no car phone. There's sure as hell not a fax machine. That's great. Yeah, I know you're a Gen 3. What is that tape recorder doing here? All right. Be well, be safe, be leery of the headlines. I'll be returning tomorrow, normal bat time, normal bat channel. I'm trying to figure out scheduling and also the software that is going to allow for multiple streams on different platforms, so we can do all of this at once and then create, I guess, which is going to be in-house, scootermcgee.com. Because stuff that I'm saying is getting flagged and it's offending people, and that wasn't the goal. So, but I'm not going to apologize for how I think, when I was raised, how I was raised, where I was raised. And you should just all count your blessings that I don't have pets, plants, or kids. Okay. Good night. Drive safe. Be well. Thanks for coming. Gotta go. I don't think this is going to work. It does not. But see, I knew that. I forgot. There we go.